likes her. She's actually hated by quite a few people, and you won't believe who does. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 7. Caitlyn Jenner. In terms of celebrities, Caitlyn Jenner is a bit of a controversial figure depending on who you talk to. Yes, it was Bruce Jenner's choice to have the $1 million operation to become Caitlyn, but some question the media praise that it got. And there are some people that Caitlyn Jenner just doesn't mesh with. And yeah, Ellen just happens to be one of them. But it didn't start out in a massive feud kind of way. When they first did their interview together, Ellen was all for Caitlyn and her fight for rights of transgender people, and it all seemed to be going great until Caitlyn started to talk about to dance with her, but she wouldn't do it. So Ellen said,
and maybe she didn't want to dance with me because I'm a lesbian.
Jenner didn't really like that one any bit at all, so she went to another show to insult Ellen. Number 6. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams has made a career of throwing insults and shade at people, which has made her very popular. Yet it has also made her a target of those who didn't really appreciate the shade, including with a certain person in which she's going through a divorce situation with right now. Regardless of that though, she also was at odds with Ellen DeGeneres because of her personality, which seems to be a theme here, but it even got weirder later on. As the two top ladies of talk shows, they occasionally go onto each other's programs, including one time when Wendy went onto Ellen's show, and things didn't go so well. Ellen asked her why she threw some shade towards Kanye West and Kim Kardashian while they're expecting their very first child, and of course this is back in 2013.
And what are your thoughts on Kim and Kanye?
I mean, I'm happy for her. She wanted a baby. Please don't laugh and encourage me, but I've been saying she's going to be a single mom, and he is going to be a lot to deal with her.
Then, in support of Ellen, Williams applauded her veganism and her PETA support. But then she asked,
But that's all right.
How do you live without bacon?
again, do I need to explain why that wasn't really a good question at all? Like, I mean, really? Why would you ever ask that? Well, Ellen wasn't really amused by the question and went,
Well, because I think pigs are smart animals.
And when Williams came back a few years later, she made a joke that Ellen and Justin Bieber were said to look alike, which is just another way of showing that she doesn't care when it comes to Ellen because it's just that sad to say.
He looks like you. I've heard that. You've never heard that?
Do I look like Justin Bieber?
No, they have made the equation.
Oh, well.
That's in a good way.
I don't mind that.
He's cute.
He's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you have to wonder if Ellen will ever bring her back into the show, personally, I highly doubt it. Number 5. Giada De Laurentiis. While Ellen DeGeneres does like to put her own style and flair into what goes on her show, that doesn't mean she can't do tropes of the business, like bringing in celebrity chefs. And since Ellen loves food, she occasionally does have her fair share of cooking guests, including chef Giada De Laurentiis, which should have been fine, except that Giada couldn't control herself. And that resulted in many insults on Ellen's behalf, which can't help but make you think that she never really liked Ellen because of all the shade she kept on throwing at her throughout their time together. And what I mean is that Giada De Laurentiis kept laying into Ellen in one form or another with no signs of stopping. Seriously, the whole affair was weird, and it happened more than once, as you'll find out. This all started with the cooking. The dishes they were making was a special kind of rice ball. Ellen was even having a little bit of trouble making the rice ball, so Giada said that it looked like dog food now.
It's like dog food now.
Which is not really a nice thing to say to anyone, let alone the host of the show. Oh, and then another guest, Nicole Kidman, came aboard to help make rice balls too. She said,
Oh my God, the woman who can't cook made the perfect ball.
That's amazing.
so not only does she hate on the beloved talk show host, but also an award-winning actress. Clearly, she has no sense of when she should be quiet and focusing on making the food and guiding the audience and members at home. Ellen and Kidman later teamed up to take down Giada, including insulting the renowned chef's bread, which I'm sure tasted better than those rice balls, I'm just saying. Giada did return to the show later, but it was still very awkward. During their conversation, Giada noted that she hoped that Ellen would get so drunk that she wouldn't notice or care about the insults she was giving her. Saying what now? What kind of woman is this? Not the nice kind, that's for sure. Number 4. Drew Barrymore. Here's a more ironic set of hate that honestly didn't happen on the Ellen DeGeneres show, but here we go. Drew Barrymore is an accomplished actress with many fan and critic beloved films, and Ellen has obviously been a trailblazer for over a decade or so. So because of this, NBC decided to try and make a show called First Dates, and it was meant to be a fall in love kind of show, but rather an inside look at what makes first dates so painful and awkward, which actually kind of sounds pretty fun when you think about it.
I went out for like a half-an-hour walk, and I wasn't back till like 2 a.m. It took me hours to find out which way north was to get back to the hotel.
You're not even relying like on your phone or anything.
I can't even get maps on there.
Oh my gosh.
So when are you trying to like tie it down?
I am not trying to tie it down.
Oh, this date was going so well.
Do you need anything else?
Yeah, your phone number.
For the last point, they decided to bring in Drew Barrymore and Ellen DeGeneres to be co-hosts on the show due to not only their star power, but their comedic timings. But apparently, it didn't work out because the two just couldn't get along both on camera and off camera. For co-hosting gigs, chemistry is everything, and these two apparently just didn't have it, even being referred to as oil and water backstage, which, if you don't know that phrase, means they just don't mix. So what exactly happened? Well, apparently the two were divided in regards to who was the top host, as each of them had their own massive fame and fan bases, and each felt that they deserved to be the one calling the shots behind the camera, which is not an environment you want to be a part of, I assure you. So what's even worse than that, despite their heat backstage, they try to work it out in front of the camera, but it was clear that there was a severe tension between them. Between all this friction and anger over who got control of what, the show wasn't really picked up for a second season, which may have been the best option given everything that was going on. Number 3. Kelly Ripa. Another unique beef is one that was made between Kelly Ripa and Ellen DeGeneres, and who is to blame for this simply comes down to how you want to interpret the events of a certain situation. You see, Kelly Ripa was once upon a time teamed up with legendary football player Michael Strahan, who was a key player on the New York Giants and is a sure Hall of Famer. You think this would be kind of an odd kind of couple pairing because of their different backgrounds, but in fact, Strahan was perfect for the co-hosting gig, and the audience loved him. So for years, Ripa and Strahan were in the top of talk show hosts on TV in regards to the morning block. But as many teams do, they eventually split up, and it's said there was some tension that constant. Wanting to respect the split, many hosts didn't have either of them as guests after it was announced. That is, except for Ellen, who immediately called Strahan to get him on the show and somewhat talk about the matter. In the eyes of Ripa, this was a very serious party foul, because she felt that this meant Ellen sided with Strahan over the split, and that really wasn't cool in her eyes, and thus a feud was started. Ellen's defense was that she didn't know that the feud would be Ripa's response to this, and she just wanted him as a guest. But many don't buy that, because while Ellen is fun and loving at times, she's also one who knows how to play the game. So if she didn't know the score after what she did, it would be rather naive. Either way, the heat between these two hasn't really died down. Number 2. Kathy Griffin. Someone who's made a bit of a name for herself by not just insulting people, but also by getting into feuds with people for a variety of reasons. Kathy Griffin is a comedian who became a major presence on TV over the years, even hosting a show with Anderson Cooper of all people. But her own personality and style of comedy has gotten her in trouble, such as when she did a very graphic photo of her with Donald Trump's head, or when she decided to call Ellen DeGeneres mean in one of her books. She made a piece called Kathy Griffin's Celebrity Run-Ins, and in it was information and disses on numerous people in Hollywood, and Ellen was in the book too. Now, she didn't name her, but the description of the person left no doubt that it was Ellen. She noted that Ellen once hosted the Emmy Awards, and she kicked Griffin out of the dressing room. Kathy also went on to note that when it came to Ellen's mean streak, most of Hollywood knew about it, and just wouldn't talk about it. Needless to say, Ellen wasn't really happy with what Griffin did, and after the book came out, the two apparently had an argument over the phone, one that resulted in Griffin crying after what was done. Whether it was because of Griffin being hurt by what Ellen said, or maybe she was sad that her words caused the argument.
She was furious. What did she say? What did she say? She just really was on a rant, because I had mentioned on your show that, you know, I wish that women would support each other more, in particular super influential women. Ellen, this is my experience with you. I said, you've been mean to me. I'm not saying you're a mean person across the board, but you can't like take my story away. It's like my experience.
We can't really say for certain. What can be for certain though is when it comes to these two ladies of TV and comedy, you should probably keep them separated. Number 1. Joan Rivers.
I think we're going to end the interview right now. Don't get so f***ing smart.
We'll apologize for Joan's language right there at the end. You're just trying to be funny with her, and I had no idea that she would do that. We apologize for that this morning. Right. Wow, I did not expect her to go there at all.
Yeah, when it comes to Joan Rivers, she was infamous for letting people know that she didn't like them or not, and she made a career with being the most over-the-top version in the world in some facets. And when it came to her feud with Ellen DeGeneres, it wasn't one that was too public, but certain celebrities knew about it, including one that you've heard earlier on the list, Kathy Griffin. Griffin had a great relationship with Rivers, and we'd hear at times how Rivers despised DeGeneres for one reason or another. According to Griffin, Ellen had done some kind of insult on the slight of Rivers, and Rivers never forgot about it. But by her own admission, Griffin said that's part of the reason she feuded with Ellen, because of what was going down with Rivers, as she felt she was sticking up for a friend by feuding with her. Obviously, since Rivers has passed, she and DeGeneres weren't able to bury the hatchet, which was apparently fine by Ellen, but sad in the eyes of Griffin. So there you have it, everyone. A group of celebrities who just aren't into Ellen DeGeneres at all. So do you agree with why they don't like her? Or do you think that their own personalities or egos got in the way with connecting with Ellen? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you around.